Here, back in the Fantasy Bar. Week 18 is here. I can't believe the season is wrapping up, but we've got 6 of my favorite plays for the final week of the regular season on FanDuel and DraftKings, including some of my favorite value guys, some guys filling in with a big opportunity ahead of them. We'll give you a bunch of plays under 6,000 on DraftKings to leave some salary on the table. And my beast of the week, I think, is in a smash spot with 40-point upside possibilities. Who are we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys, and a happy new year to everybody. Week 18 is here, and we are back in the Fantasy Bar with 6 guys fresh off the tap for you for that Week 18 slate. Thank you, as always, for stopping by the Fantasy Bar and checking out this week's video. Before we get to the plays, do me a favor. Let's end the regular season with a bang. Hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoy the content, you like hanging out in the Fantasy Bar, that's all we're asking in return on this free video. Thank you for that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell if you have not already, and check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. If you haven't checked out Splash Sports yet, what are you waiting on? Special offer for you guys, code ROTO10 gets you a nice bonus over there. Tons of different offerings at all different price points. That link in the description of the video. Go check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. All right, before we get into the plays here, a couple notes. First thing, Week 18, we know there's teams playing for everything. There's teams playing for nothing. There's teams that are eliminated. So make sure you are keeping up with the news here in Week 18. Also, that Vikings-Lions showdown on FanDuel. We will not mention it here in the 6-pack, but definitely a game you're going to want exposure to. So don't forget that one over on FanDuel. Should be an awesome game with a ton of fantasy goodness. All right, let's jump in here and let's start with a guy that's been very good to us this season, wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. You guys might be sick of seeing Brian Thomas here in the video, but just continues to get it done week in and week out, and got it done for us last week. 7 for 91 and a touchdown, and I love the spot for him again this week against the Colts, and maybe a little extra motivation here for Brian Thomas Jr., who was snubbed in the Pro Bowl voting in favor of guys like Jerry Jeudy, who has better numbers than. So I'm expecting Thomas to play a little extra fire here in Week 18, and he has been dominant. 5 straight games of 10 or more targets, 5 touchdowns over that 5-week stretch. In the first game with the Colts, absolutely dominated there as well, 122 yards and a touchdown, and it makes sense. Colts, 10th most fantasy points allowed to this position. Going to end the regular season strong here with another play on Brian Thomas Jr. All right, let's get you some value at the running back spot with Michael Carter of Arizona. So yes, the Cardinals are eliminated, but I think they're going to play strong here with no James Conner, no Trey Benson, who were both placed on IR. It's Michael Carter who should see the majority of the opportunity in that Cardinals backfield, and he has looked good with the limited chances that he has gotten, filling in and complimenting James Conner here, and especially in the passing game, which we love over on DraftKings. 7 receptions over the last couple weeks here. Great matchup with the San Francisco defense. We're talking bottom 10 in rushing touchdowns allowed, receiving yards, as we mentioned, a big part of Michael Carter's game, and of course, fantasy points. Great value here this week on Michael Carter against the San Francisco 49ers. All right, we're going to get you some correlation and more value on the other side of that game at quarterback with Joshua Dobbs. So minimum price here on both sides. Really tough to beat a spot like this. A very good San Francisco offense, even if they are eliminated. Injuries a possibility. We'll keep an eye on George Kittle. But lots of ways you could stack this offense here with the running back, with Kittle if he's in there, Jennings, Deebo Samuel. A lot of ways you can creative here with the San Francisco offense. And we know Dobbs has some nice upside. We saw it last week with a rushing touchdown. We saw it early on last season when he played extremely well, can put up a ton of fantasy points, both through the air and on the ground. Mentioned that rushing touchdown last week, and this is a spot the Cardinals have struggled with. 6th most rushing touchdowns allowed to this position. Tough to beat. Minimum price, Josh Dobbs with that upside in a good matchup with the Arizona Cardinals. All right, let's get away from that game and move on to another big game in the NFC South with wide receiver Jalen McMillan. So I love Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay offense as well this week. If you're nervous about Josh Dobbs, Baker Mayfield, another quarterback I will be using a ton here in Week 18. Everything to play for with that NFC South and the playoffs on the line for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And McMillan has really stepped up here to go aside Mike Evans, and the price is yet to catch up. They've gone up a little bit. I don't think they've gone up high enough for what this guy has been producing. 6 touchdowns over the last 4 games. So just been an absolute playmaker here for Baker Mayfield. We mentioned Tampa Bay, everything to play for here, and you got to love the spot here against the New Orleans Saints 8th most fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position of the team that has absolutely shut it down for the season. Expecting another big performance out of this Tampa Bay offense and Jalen McMillan. All right, let's continue on the value train at tight end with Chigakonkwo of Tennessee. Now, tight end kind of tough this week. Guys sitting out, potential injuries. I think most are going to go the McBride Bowers way, and I'm not mad at that. Certainly make a case for them here in the six-pack, and guys I'll be using as well. We're also going to have some minimum price guys, the Peyton Hendershots of the world. So I think the in-between range in your GPP lineups going to go overlooked here, including Chigakonkwo. We'll have some ownership. I don't think as high as it should be with the way he has been playing. Legit go-to guy in this passing attack along with Calvin Ridley. Talking and averaging over 9 targets per game over the last 3. The matchup's certainly not easy with the Houston Texans, but this is a team that's locked into that 4 seed, so likely see a ton of starters resting in this game, both offensively and defensively, and they have been vulnerable around the red zone. 4th most touchdowns allowed to the tight end position at 8. Chigakonkwo playing well. I think he ends the season strong here at a sub 4K price over on DraftKings. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Week 18. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Week contest and give away more free months of RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium. All you got to do, hit that thumbs up button, head to the comment section, and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Week. Whoever's guess is the closest, you're going to win one of those prizes, a free month of RotoGrinders Premium or a free month of Scores and Odds Premium just for hanging out today in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap it up with my absolute favorite play for Week 18. You know, Matt's Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back, and we're going to go to another must-win spot, and that is for the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson, this week's Beast of the Week. So as we talked about with the Tampa Bay Bucks, everything to play for here for the Atlanta Falcons. Must win this game, and I think rather than put it in the hands of Michael Penix Jr., they're going to lean on their horse, their big dog, Bijan Robinson here in a big way, and this guy has been an absolute monster down the stretch. We're talking 20 or more DraftKings points now in 9 of his last 11 games, and you can't draw up a much better matchup than the Carolina Panthers for a running back. Most rushing yards allowed, 2nd most rushing touchdowns allowed, and the most fantasy points allowed to this position. I think Bijan goes out in a big way here, has a massive game. Bijan Robinson, easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Week 18 six-pack. Couple of reminders. Make sure you check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders for some great content. Minnesota, Detroit on FanDuel. I'm sure most of you know. Don't forget about that game. And we are not done with the NFL. Don't think because the regular season is over, we are going anywhere. Going to have a couple playoff NFL six-packs for the first couple weeks of the NFL playoffs. So make sure you're tuned into that. And speaking of that Lions-Vikings game, make sure you check out my Pints and Picks this week over on our Scores and Odds YouTube page. Couple props I am loving from that game. Check out that video. Quick 1 minute, couple props. Make sure you give it a look. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for an awesome season here. Thank you for hanging out this week. Best of luck to you here in Week 18, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.